Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews and to another video here on the channel. This is my what I'm currently reading video, a check-in for the second full week of 2022. Hi, welcome. I've read a fair amount. I'm just getting my laptop so I can tell you what I've read. But I have read a fair amount since last we spoke. First up, I finished The Poppy War. I had a very good time with it. It's a very good book. I can harness those memories of when I was reading this. I talked about this last week. I won't blither about it too long, but I have also finished The Dragon Republic. This is the ARC copy. That my fondest memories of this is I read this when we first moved into our old house, and now being in our new house, it's happy memories. This is a fantastic fantasy series. I am enjoying rereading it. I'm very excited to get to Burning God next week and see if it is as good bad as people seem to remember it to be. I have no memory of it whatsoever. I think I must have just read it in a daze, so I'm excited to get back into it. I do think The Poppy War is the strongest book of all of them. I think it has the most structure, and I think what book 2 I was really missing was the context of the first half of the book. So the first half of the first book has this school setting where they're learning things that feel very abstract in the school, and then to see them applied to the real world is quite difficult, and you don't have that context in the second book as much, so we'll see. But I enjoyed reading both of them perfectly well, and I don't think I have anything else to add beyond that. Because I feel like everything that could be said on that series has already been said. And I think I will round up my thoughts, or I hope I will round up my thoughts after book 3, because I've got to film a video review for it, so there's that. I finished my audiobook of 10,000 Stitches. I was also working on this last time we spoke. It's a lovely little fantasy romance. I liked that some of the characters from Half a Soul were brought in. Regency Fae romance, all that you could want. I also listened to the audiobook of The Lord Sorcier, which is it's a very short story. I think it's about 33 pages or something. It was a very quick audiobook that is a prequel to Half a Soul. So if you like the series and you were wondering if you should check that out, it was pretty nice. It was not romantic as much as I wanted it to be, but it was interesting. And I've been thinking a lot about the parallels between that and Jonathan Strange, and I like this series much more than Jonathan Strange because there's much less waffle in it. So if you just want romance, that's where I would go. Enough, moving on. We don't need to talk about that too much. I finished The Queen of Raiders, which is, as you will remember, part of a 4-book series that I'm currently reading. I cannot bring myself to read book 3. I will read it before the end of this week, but at the moment I'm not quite in the right headspace for it. I'm finishing some other stuff first. But actually The Queen of Raiders was pretty good. I think I just had to commit, and I had to decide I was going to sit and read it. And I think part of it is because I'm reading it on my phone, and I don't like reading off my phone screen that much, which is making me think I might need a different e-reader. Fairly generic fantasy, but still very enjoyable. At the end of last week, I wasn't sure what I wanted to pick up. I knew I wanted to pick up something off my own TBR, but I also knew I did not have much time because I had a lot to get to. So I actually finally got round to reading Law Olympus, which this is the graphic novel of the webcomic by Rachel Smith. It could be Smith or Smythe, I'm not sure. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, if you haven't already heard of it, except it's in this really unique modern but not modern world. It's fascinating. I love the webcomic, so I have read all of this already. None of this was new to me. There's a little extra scene at the end, but I had read all of this before and loved it, and it was just really nice to get to experience it in book form. This is the Illumicrate edition with the sprayed edges that feel very bisexual. This is not very bisexual, but this feels very bisexual. And Hades and Persephone is just like, if you know, I really enjoyed this. I don't have a huge amount to say on it beyond the art is lovely. I really like the story. I'm excited for volume 2, and I really like having it physically, and that's a very enjoyable experience for me, even though I have already read it all online. Kind of reminds me of Heartstopper. Like, yes, I could read this all for free online, but holding them physically is a different experience. I finished Animorphs 29, The Sickness. It was a good time. I have a video coming up on that in a couple of weeks. We don't need to talk about it too much. But if you are a patron, you will get that early. Just a reminder, if you want Animorphs content a bit earlier. A new release coming up in February. I read Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This is YA. It is a girl, Joan, who realises, based on a Good Samaritan event gone a bit wrong, that she is in fact a monster, and that there is somebody who wants to kill her and all of her family. And it's sort of a, you discover you have magical powers you didn't know you had, and now you have access to a world you did not know existed, and there is somebody hunting you down kind of a story. There are familiar threads. There's a lot of comparisons we could be drawing with other similar stories. I got very annoyed at the first 100 pages of this book because there is nothing that annoys me more than, actually no, there are. There are some things that annoy me more, but not many, than a main character who discovers she has magical powers, and then everyone knows that she is new to these magical powers and yet won't explain anything. So you have this other character who's just watching her bumble about making horrible errors and then being really annoyed that she's made horrible errors. But sir, you have not explained this to her. Why are you gatekeeping the magical powers? Stop it. So I nearly DNF'd it at 100 pages and then I thought, I'm this far in, may as well carry on, which is a problem I should probably deal with. However, I do actually think that the last chunk of this book is very good. The last 100 pages or so, probably the last third, is just really well written, really enjoyable, like the character stuff. If you like YA, you'll probably like it. So, do I think I would have missed out on the best book of my life if I'd stopped? No. But I would have missed out on a decent book if I had stopped. So there we go. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was pretty solid. And that is everything I have finished. And then I've started a fair few things since then. What have I done with them though? Oh, it's over there. I have started The Broken Queen, which is the 3rd book in that 4-book series that I must learn the name of. In fact, let's learn it now. The 9 Realms. There you go. I've read like 6% of it, not very far through, probably going to save that for a long read over the weekend. I have also picked up Age of Ash by Daniel Abraham. Yes, who is one of the co-authors of The Expanse. This is a release that I've seen on a fair few people's 2022 releases list, so it's exciting to have a physical arc of it. I will put the cover up because the arc is on my desk. I'm 100 or so pages into that. I think I've just hit the start of part 2, and so far it is pretty good. I think part of the problem I'm having, which will not be a problem for those reading finished copies, is that I think it's going to have the name of the characters whose perspective we are in the chapter at the start of each chapter, and the ARC copy does not have that, I suspect because it will be art. If not, then it's a little bit hard to know whose perspective you are in, and I think that'll solve itself now I'm aware how many perspectives there are, but it's interesting. We have a plucky thief, we have some conspiracy happening, the description of parts of the city, there's some really interesting sentences here and there. I wouldn't say so far it's totally gripped me in the way that other similar stories have, but I will report back and let you know if that's any good. That is out in early February, I think. As my audiobook, I have picked up slightly earlier than in my plan, but I think it's going to work okay. I have picked up Ninefox Gambit, which is a reread for me. I read the physical copy in, I want to say June of last year, but I'm rereading them for Overbooked, so I thought I would do it by audiobook this time to see if I understood a bit more, and I actually think I'm going to. So I've never read books 2 and 3, but I will pick those up subsequently, and I think I'm just going to do the whole series by audiobook. But I'm enjoying Ninefox Gambit a lot more than I was the first time, I think. But it's not actually very long, so I think it's going to be a good audiobook for me. So those are most of the things I'm reading. There's a couple of other bits dotted here and there that aren't super relevant. I did also get some book mail this week from the lovely Angela, who is just exceptional, and I linked her in last week's video and she's going to be in this one again, and I just need to set it as my defaults that you should all go and watch Angela. But she sent me 2 books for my birthday, which is in early February, and she sent Karen Lord's The Best of All Possible Worlds, which she has talked about many, many times. I'm very excited about it. Sci-fi stuff. And also The Ninth Reign, which is the first book in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. Yes, I knew this. That Angela has read very recently and is pretty certain that I'm going to love. I'm pretty certain I'm going to love it too. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to do my best, and it's going to be a great time when we do get to it. I'll probably try and buy the other 2 so I can just read it all in one go. I think that will be fun. So that's everything I'm currently working on and my book mail. I'm going to be picking up, let me see, Nevernight, possibly. I'm gonna see how I go. I think I will come back and talk about that next week. I also have, obviously, the 4th book will be coming up in that 9 Realms series. I know what it's called now. What else is on here? Mentioned The Burning God, and I'm also going to pick up Pennyblade, which looks like this, mainly because I'm interested to see if it is in fact a Gideon the Ninth knockoff. Kind of excited to talk about that. Lots of exciting things to do. I've also been working on my sewing project. That's going very well. I have a video that is part of it coming up. It's not going to be a full project vlog just because that wouldn't work for this particular thing, but it is going to count as my sewing project for the first 2 months of the year, so that's exciting. What else have I been doing? I've watched most of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I've just hit the end of Two Towers, the extended editions, obviously. So I am doing Return of the King next, and that's what I'm doing alongside my sewing project, and it's just so good. Like, I am Lord of the Rings trash. I've never read the books. I do want to at some point. Again, I'll probably do it by audiobook, but at the moment I'm quite happy just living in the films, which were a quintessential part of my childhood. I used to watch them with Mum while we did the ironing. It was great. Anything else I want to add? Anything else happening in my life? No, but did I tell you all about my mug that my sister-in-law got me for Christmas? It is 101 Dalmatians, and it's the TV that's playing with the Canine Crunchies advert, except it's not, it's Champion the Wonder Dog, but the Canine Crunchies advert plays immediately after this, and it's my absolute favourite thing, and I will never, never use it because it's too precious. But in case you were wondering what mug that is, that's what that is. Oh no! I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you are currently reading down in the comments below. Do you have any thoughts or feelings or emotions? While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, you can subscribe, you can follow me on social media, come hang out on Discord where we have a wonderful time talking about books. All of these things make me feel loved and appreciated. Nothing makes me feel more loved and appreciated than my patrons who generously support videos like this. Thank you so much. If you'd like to join, that's all linked below as well. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. It's gonna be some bloopers now.